The hands of the old clock ticked loudly in the silence of the room. It was late at night, and the last customer had long since gone. The clockmaker, Elias, stood up from his workbench, stretching his aching back. His small shop was filled with all kinds of clocks, from the cuckoo clock to the hourglass, from the pendulum clock to the alarm clock. All of them told the time in their own unique way. But there was one clock which was never for sale. It was a beautiful golden pocket watch, always shut away in a glass case. Its intricate golden hands seemed to move with a life of their own. One particularly stormy night, the bell above the shop door tinkled. Elias looked up to see a little girl standing in the doorway. She had bright, curious eyes, and her hair was the color of spun gold. "Can I help you?" he asked. The girl walked in, shaking the rain from her dark coat. "I'm lost," she said, "and I saw your sign. My dad told me if I ever got lost, I should look for somewhere that sold warm gingerbread and fine clocks. So I thought maybe you might have some gingerbread." Elias smiled. "No gingerbread, I'm afraid, but I do have some candy. Would you like some candy?" He reached under the counter for a small dish filled with sweets. The girl took a piece and ate it slowly, savoring its deliciousness. "This is lovely," she said. "Thank you." She looked around the shop, her eyes shining. "You have so many clocks. Which one is the best?" Elias followed her gaze. "They all do their job well," he said. "But there is one I never sell." The girl walked over to the golden pocket watch. "Why not?" she asked. "Is it because it's too expensive?" Elias looked into the girl's curious eyes. "It's not for sale because it doesn't just tell time, it controls it." The girl gasped. "What do you mean?" she whispered. Over the next few days, the girl, whose name was Lila, became a regular at the shop. Every day she would come in, sit on a stool by the counter, and listen intently as Elias told her stories about clocks and the art of clockmaking. He taught her how to wind a clock and how to keep its gears turning smoothly. She soaked up his knowledge like a sponge. But her favorite thing was the golden pocket watch. Every time she saw its glowing hands, she longed to hold it in her own hands and feel its power. Elias, however, was reluctant to let her touch it. "Don't be impatient," he would say. "You will know when you are ready." But Lila couldn't wait. She wanted to know what it felt like to control time itself. So one day, while Elias was out delivering a newly repaired clock, she snuck into his workshop. The golden pocket watch was sitting on the counter. Just as always, Lila's hand trembled as she reached out and touched it. Suddenly, the room started spinning, and when it stopped, she realized that she wasn't in the shop anymore. She was in the market, just as she had been many times before. Only this time, something was different. She saw herself walking down the street, talking animatedly to her best friend, Maya. But then, suddenly, Lila stopped. She remembered why she had come to the market that day, to apologize to Maya after they had gotten into a big fight. Except this time, she didn't do it. Instead, she continued to walk away, leaving Maya hurt and confused. Lila watched the scene play out, feeling terrible. Here was her chance to make things right. She knew that if she didn't do something, she would regret it forever. So when she heard herself say goodbye to Maya and turn away, she took a deep breath and called out, "Wait, Maya, I'm sorry. I was wrong." Maya turned around, surprise and hope in her eyes. "Really? You're sorry?" Lila nodded. "I'm sorry I yelled at you. I'm sorry I called you names. I'm sorry I said I didn't want to be your friend anymore. I don't want any of that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Maya." Relief and joy flooded Lila's face as Maya forgave her, and they embraced. When Lila opened her eyes again, she was back in the shop. The golden pocket watch was lying in her palm. It had stopped ticking. She looked at it in wonder. She had done it. She had changed the past. Suddenly, the door opened and Elias walked in. He looked at Lila, then at the pocket watch. Understanding dawned on his face. "You found out," he said quietly. Lila nodded, tears in her eyes. "I did it, Elias. I fixed things with Maya." Elias smiled, sadly. "Yes, I know. That is why the watch stopped. It has only rewound time once." He picked up the watch and placed it in its glass case. "Now it is useless." Lila's heart sank. She had known that using the watch would mean giving up its powers, but she hadn't realized just how much she would regret it. Days turned into weeks, and Lila grew quiet and withdrawn. She had made amends with Maya, but she couldn't stop thinking about what else she could have changed. Maybe she could have prevented her parents' divorce or helped her neighbor win the lottery. The possibilities were endless, and she couldn't help but wonder what might have been. One day, Elias called Lila over to the counter. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. "What is it, Elias?" she asked softly. "I haven't been honest with you," he admitted. Lila's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" "I'm not really a clockmaker," he said. "I am the keeper of time." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a long, thin cane. When he tapped it on the floor, it glowed brightly, revealing itself to be a magic wand. "And these clocks, they are my helpers. They help me measure the moments of people's lives." He pointed to the golden pocket watch. "As for that watch, it was given to me by the previous keeper. It allows me to send souls back a few moments in time, but only once. Each soul has to use its power wisely, for time is a precious gift. Lila looked at the golden pocket watch, then at Elias. But why did you give it to me? I almost destroyed everything. Elias smiled. That is why I gave it to you, to show you what it feels like to have such power. And you showed great wisdom by fixing things with your friend. That was the right thing to do, Lila. Lila looked down at her hands. She still couldn't believe that she had almost destroyed the balance of time. So what happens now? She asked. Elias tapped his magic wand on the counter. You will go back to your time, and I will find another soul worthy of the golden pocket watch. Oh. Then we shall meet again. Lila felt a strange sensation, like she was falling, and then everything went black. When she opened her eyes, she was back in her room. The golden pocket watch was lying on her bedside table, no longer glowing. She looked at it sadly, knowing that she would never be able to use its powers again. Years passed, and Lila never forgot the lessons she had learned. She grew up and became a kind and compassionate woman, always remembering the importance of using her time wisely. Meanwhile, the golden pocket watch waited patiently in Elias's shop, glowing faintly, ready to be passed on to the next soul who would need its power. For Elias knew that even in the darkest of times, there was always hope for a second chance.